Alright, so today we got the second part of my build video for the waterboard by StevensAero. Another quick snap of what's needed and what is included. Our little manual here. And first things first, we're going to start breaking our pieces apart. So one of the pieces of ply. This here is, that piece is balsa. Some of the stuff just pops out very easily. Just break everything out gently. Make sure not to break any of these tabs because everything fits in together very nicely. Shouldn't have to force anything in. This again, totally out of my realm. Never really worked with balsa like this before, so or little wood project, boat, whichever. So we'll all be learning together. Pop out all our things. That's that measuring gauge and our rudder pieces. All right, so what I did here is I dry fit most of the boat first to make sure that there's no issues. That's what they explained in the manual. So dry fit everything, meaning put everything together, do not use any glue. All right, so two back pieces, pretty self-explanatory. One has a hole in it to push the electronics in. The other center piece there, the third row up, is what's going to be holding the battery. So you have a piece of ply that goes in between all three. Here I had to wedge it in, so a little bit of a snap into place. There we go. Two more of those leading edges pieces, or the cross member pieces, and we have another one going underneath. There you go. So this on its own is pretty solid. Everything fits nice. Make sure it's all leveled off. And if so, then the outside edge of that should just slide into place. Same thing for the opposite side. I was surprised at how well it went together. There's no trimming, no sanding, just fits. Snug though, but fits. Alright, so the back piece ties everything together. This here is a piece of ply, a little bit stiffer than the rest of the stuff here. So that one here, we had to straighten out that one center cross member, or this one center piece to get it to fit here. Alright, so we're good with that. Making sure we're 100% because once we're glued, this ain't coming apart. Alright, so we're going to be using a thick CA and a kicker. It's quite new to me. I was surprised at how well that works. As soon as you spray that kicker on there, the glue's almost set. So nothing's moving. Alright, so you do a couple more here so you get the... Alright, so I'm going to finish that off camera and come back with a glued piece. There you go. So now on to the ply for the hatch. Fits into place. And that, given that again it's ply, you're going to be able to screw into it and have a little bit of meat, whereas I wouldn't screw into balsa, it would just shred a piece. So again here, little joint, close everything off. And again, I'm not shy with the glue. Right, so this is the front of the bow of the boat. We have another thicker piece of ply that ties everything together, which should give us our leading edge. That's where the top meets the bottom. So I was very generous with the glue with this because if anything's going to hit, I'm assuming that's the first one that's going to take a smashing. Alright, glue, kicker. I glued myself a couple times. I don't know if you can see, I yanked my hand off pretty quick, but the stuff works. Alright, so we're done with that. Alright, so these two pieces, almost forgot as I was building. This is what's going to be holding the rudder. So you're going to have a sleeve that goes into both of these pieces of wood. So make sure that again, lots of glue on the outside. Don't cut into where the rudder is going to be, that center hole, but everything around it should have a good weld joint, or a good glue joint anyways. Right, so this part was a little bit tricky. I didn't know how far up to go with the glue. If I had to do it again, I'd probably only go up maybe 2 sections and keep adding glue as I go, and then just filling the inside. But I did 4 rows. You gotta line it up real quick because it sets fast even without the kicker. I use masking tape to hold it together while it does adhere. Alright. And all this is getting sanded, so even if you get some green masking tape stuck into the glue, it's gonna get sanded afterwards. So he sprayed some kicker inside and it's holding. Alright, so just trying to get myself lined up. Kind of hard to get the shot there. But now that we're good, I'm gonna add my glue, the cross member, and the outer edge. Just use the tape to pull out all that extra glue. Added some masking to hold everything together again. Do the same on the opposite side, and all the way up to the leading edge. So tape is always to hold everything together. And we're gonna add a little bit more glue off camera and finish everything up so it's all nice and tight. So everything is gonna end up getting glued to that ply. Alright, so there we go. Framework's all done. There's that little rudder piece I was telling you about. Tap it in so gently, make sure it's lined up, so that way once we have the top on, we know it does fit. And I know someone's going to comment, I do have a hammer sitting somewhere. Wasn't close to me, so I didn't go get it. Alright, so top piece, this as well. If you don't get it lined up properly, it's going to be a pain. It's going to be a lot of sanding to try to fill in these little holes. So I dry fit everything first. Add my glue. And again, I should have done a smaller section, but I was getting pretty confident at this point here. Or late, whichever it was. I was trying to rush through. But it did line up, so we had no issues there. A little bit more glue here. Push everything down. Alright. So that's done. We're just going to dry fit the other side off camera and it'll pop back in. Alright, so everything lined up, no issues, so we're ready for glue. And here, if you notice, I did just the back half. Make sure that's all nice and lined up. Kicker, and we're good to go. Now we just lift the front a little bit, mash some glue under there, and you're good. So here's the motor mount piece. So you have a bottom piece, which is, I think they're all ply. Sorry about that. Yeah, so they're all ply. What's over in the instructions. So yeah, all ply. Put the 2 outer edges on, glue and kicker. That sets very fast. Ready to do our front piece. Just dry fitting everything before we go ahead and glue. And now add the back piece first. I'm just using the front balsa chunk to hold it together. Alright, so now that's done. We're going to add the balsa front. And on the front piece, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to go higher than the rest of the engine mount or motor mount. And we have to wet the ply, or not the ply, the balsa to get it to form around the top. You'll see here as I get to it. So the bottom piece is its own little chunk. Now the top piece is what I was getting at. So see how it's a little bit taller? So that's going to need to be wetted and rounded over the edge afterwards. So throw that to the side and let it dry. Alright, so dry fit everything on the hatch. Ready to assemble and glue. And these, I guess I should mention now, once you're done and they're glued, you're going to have to seal the inside of the hatch, because ultimately you're not going to, chances are you're not going to paint that. You're going to paint the outside of the boat. But seal the hatch, seal the inside of the motor compartment, Same thing with the battery tray and the electronics tray. Make sure to seal that up with, well, I used a wood varnish. I have to go look again. I don't think it was a wood varnish. I think it's just a wood sealer. All right, so there's the rudder. Just install your control surfaces or your control horns. Make sure they're lined up with the rod. Add glue and kicker to set that. Again, always generous with the glue. Alright, so we're done with the build video. Next will be the final assembly. So guys, thanks for watching. Please thumbs up and subscribe.